Hey everybody, it's Annabelle, the VTuber demon that wants to play for fun, and I hereby invite everyone to join me on my adventures through Marvel Snap. So on today's adventures through Marvel Snap, we are taking a peek at the newest Season Pass card. Since Season Pass cards don't get their own spotlights anymore, I like to take the first Thursday after a new season and talk about that card. Today we are looking at Gwenpool. Gwenpool originally lived in our universe where all superheroes and supervillains were fictional characters in comic books, movies, and other movies. She found it difficult to find a job after having been unable to graduate from high school. This led her to submerge into fiction in order to escape from her reality and fantasize about a better world, becoming lazy and apathetic. But through a somehow still unrevealed means, she ended up in the Prime Marvel universe. Gwenpool needed to find some source of income in this new world, so she decided to become a mercenary and get contract jobs. But due to her lack of records and her lack of skills during missions, she was having problems. But she sought out the help and got every trace of her existence from her home universe transplanted to her new reality. And with a mix of luck and some good training, she managed to become a katana-wielding, fourth-wall-breaking anti. Gwenpool randomly leaps from one misadventure to the next with thrilling and hilarious stories, regardless of the consequences. She seldom thinks twice before using her timeline rewriting powers to reshape the world to her liking. This mercenary tweaks events of the past, present, and future to tell the story she wants to tell. And armed with an encyclopedic knowledge of comic books, she bends all the rules to buck any conventions. Gwenpool initially had little regard for any lives outside her own, property damage, or anything that transpired that did not affect her directly. She eventually learned to frown upon such unconscious demeanor after she met a version of herself from a future that acted evil just for the sake of it. Her actions and decisions are heavily influenced by the fact that she knows that this universe is ultimately ruled by storytelling devices and tropes. Gwenpool has the power of medium interaction. Her unique perception of this world allows her to have the ability to recognize and manipulate the artistic medium in which she dwells. This allows her to observe it from the outside and move through it, allowing her to travel in time. She can also forcibly remove characters from the narrative or alter characters to her liking. Her powers let her retcon this universe so that she is now a mutant who has always lived in this universe. Gwenpool likes to randomly leap from one misadventure to the next with powers so strong they can alter characters. This is represented in Marvel Snap by her picking a random card in her hand, altering that character to give them 2 more power, then leaping back and doing it 2 more times in a row. So in Marvel Snap, this card is a 4 cost 6 power with the unrevealed that says, pick a random card in your hand 3 times, give it plus 2 power each time. So what this card does is it picks a card in your hand, gives it plus 2 power, then does that twice more. So if you only have 1 card in your hand, it'll hit that card all 3 times. This card is basically right in the middle, and we're going to discuss why I believe she falls into the 3-star category today. So let's look at some things that actually kind of work with her, and some things that kind of are interesting about her. So first of all, we just got to look at her as a power stat line straight off the bat. If we're to look at her basically as a power line straight off the bat, the card that comes closest to her in representation would be the Thing. But not the normal thing, the actual high evolutionary thing. If you look at how the Thing is and you look at the high evolutionary version of it, it's another 4/6 that can give power by, in the Thing's case, doing -3. This is giving you basically the equivalent of +6. Now, there might be a situation where you don't get all the 6 because there might be something in your hand you don't want to play or can't play for whatever reason. But it's still a powerful card just on its own. It's still a 4/6 on the worst of days. Nothing else that you're getting a 4/6, which is a bad stat line. And if you just get one buff off of it, you're basically ending up with doing an American Chavez on top of it. So you're basically getting a 1/2 worth of power, even if all you do is play one card that's in your hand. Some of the stuff that it works well with is stuff that you would imagine, like the Brood. You get the Brood pumped up. If you get a power point on the Brood, that's a 3/4 Brood. If you get 2 power points on the Brood, that's a 3/6 power. And that's, remember, Broods triple when they play. Long, you get the effect to hit twice because it will trigger twice. Which will actually give you 6 triggers in that effect. Absorbing Man, do it once, then do it again. Iron Man, you get this on Iron Man. If you trigger it on Iron Man, just on Iron Man as well, with 1 trigger on it. This means Iron Man by himself, with nothing else on there, becomes a 5/4. 2 triggers on this, and Iron Man becomes by himself a 5/8. There's nothing wrong about that. The Black Panther, sometimes you have trouble getting a 4 down, it can become a replacement for your 1. Get a trigger just once on the Black Panther, and you're looking at a 5/12 when it comes down. MODOK, you basically discard your hand, you only have 1 card left in your hand. Or other discard effects where you kind of move down your hand, and then you only have a few choices in there, and you get a big card at the last turn. Vision, you play this on 4, you get a card or 2 on Vision, and then you have a card that basically you play down on 5, and your opponent doesn't know what to do with it. Deadpool, depending on how you do Deadpool, which doesn't seem like it would work with this. If the Deadpool gets destroyed first, and then you play the Gwenpool after that, the Deadpool's technically back in your hand, so it can get the buff even though you didn't play it while Gwenpool was in your hand. So you can actually play down, destroy the Deadpool, then play the Gwenpool, pump up your Deadpool, when it's already had some power points to it. The other card that's interesting for this is Hulkbuster. Put this on the Hulkbuster. You get a more powerful card, as Hulkbuster just puts power onto anything that you want it to. So if Gwenpool does this twice, you're looking at a 3/7? Sorry, a 2/7, I should say. So that's a 2/7, where on turn 6 you can play down a 4-drop and the Hulkbuster and basically get 7 powers that come out of nowhere. Another interesting card on this is, believe it or not, Swarm. I've actually seen Swarm pop around a bit. You get the Swarms in here. The Swarms can't die. When you do discard your hand, you get more Swarms. So if the Gwenpool hits and triggers this, you'll get some powerful Swarm. So if this happens on the Swarm, let's say you get this on the Swarm, and then you do the MODOK after this, and you get, what, 3 of these? 2 of these. You get 2 of these, especially if you play it down on the 1, which could be 3. You end up with just 1 of these becomes a 3/5, so that's 3/10. 2 triggers on this. You get 0/7s, 2 0/7s, there's nothing wrong with that. So, all in all, it's just a generally good card. I think it's okay to get if you want to get it. I think it's okay to skip this one if you want to skip it, though, honestly. Anyways, I want to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, remember, play for fun.